Here we are, Hollywood Boulevard. Hollywood Boulevard, of course, was the home of all the grand movie palaces of the early days of Hollywood, 30s, 40s, 50s. The great Grauman's Chinese, where people put their feet in cement. And that's where the Hollywood Walk of Fame is. When I was shooting there, it wasn't quite so polished up. It was a little seedier, and I had to shoot it fast. We didn't have a big budget to shoot there, for hours and days. So Chuck Minsky got some special film he shot so we could actually film at night without lighting a lot of things. When we shot close on the actors, we had to light them so they would look beautiful. But a lot of the street scenes were shot just the way it was lit, all the lights from existing neon signs, and I thought it turned out very well. So there's where Julia walked along the street. She came down from her house. It's not exactly around the corner, but with film technique, you can make anything anywhere.
Did you realize that Via Rodeo is the first new street in Beverly Hills in 75 years?
And here we are, Rodeo Drive. That's a very famous street. It's one of Beverly Hills' first streets. It was constructed in 1907. It's the shopping destination for everybody. They have the most renowned stores, prestigious stores, dining and entertaining experiences. The richest people in the world, most famous people in the world, and sometimes just you and me come and we shop on Rodeo Drive. Men buy beautiful, expensive things for their wives, and maybe they buy something for somebody else, but we don't want to get into that. When I shot there, and they still do, they make you shoot on Sunday, because the rest of the days of the week they're open. And goodness knows they don't want to lose a dollar. So we shot all the scenes in Pretty Woman on a Sunday, and Julia Roberts is parading around there, first in her bad clothes from her hooker days, and then, of course, she does the nice walk. There was a lot of places that we shot, and some are still there, some have moved on. But it's a beautiful street with some of the best window displays you'll ever see in your whole life. And here we are at the Regent Beverly Wilshire Hotel, Beverly Hills. Guess what it used to be? It was Beverly Auto Speedway. There was a speedway. They used to race cars by there. It was originally called the Beverly Wilshire Apartment Hotel. There were apartments there. It was a beautiful building and still is today. When I shot, there were no trees because I could see the hotel. Now I would have to get around it. I couldn't see the hotel from the trees here. It was designed in the Italian Renaissance style with a French neoclassic influence. It's really situated in the premier location in Beverly Hills. It's at the foot of Rodeo Drive. So you go to that hotel, you come out, there you are, walking on Rodeo Drive. Look at this, you're saying, what is it? There's a W. What does it stand for? Wilshire? No, this stands for the W Hotel. In 1969, it was called La Mancha. It's started out as an upscale dormitory for the UCLA people. It used to be, when we shot Pretty Woman there, the Westwood Marquis. We shot the scene where Julia Roberts and Laura San Giacomo talk about life and whether she'll ever meet the Mr. Right Prince Charming. And there's a beautiful flowers behind Julia's head, if you remember in the movie. That is now a waterfall. So if you visit the W Hotel on Hillgard Avenue, you'll see just where Julia Roberts sat as Vivian in Pretty Woman. What you're now seeing is the Los Angeles Museum of Natural History. This is where I shot a piece of Pretty Woman, and this museum is across the street from the USC campus. And while we were shooting, many members of the USC football team came out to look at Julia Roberts, who was looking very well on the days we shot this, because she put on her red dress and was going to the museum. No, don't you remember the story? She was going to the opera. And why would we turn this museum into an opera? Because the real opera we wanted to shoot was in San Francisco, and we were all set to shoot there, and the earthquake knocked the windows out. As a director, one of the hardest things for me to learn is that you only see as an audience what the camera sees in the lobby there, right there in the foyer. As you saw in the movie, if you look to your right, it's the Museum of Natural History. Dinosaurs are standing there. So if you were standing where I was standing, you'd see Julia and Richard, and in the background was two big dinosaurs. Cicada, that's the name of the restaurant here, and it's in the Oviatt building. Now, why are you saying look at the Cicada? Because that was the restaurant we shot in Pretty Woman. We shot Julia Roberts in her famous catching the snail scene. The Oviatt building was erected in 1927. Now, how do I know that? Because they gave me a piece of paper that says that. You think I make all this up? It's written in research. This is the first Art Deco building in LA. It was declared a cultural monument in 1978. In 1983, they listed it in the National Register of Historical Places. I remember that particular restaurant has what I wanted so badly, a beautiful staircase that leads right down into the section where all the tables are, and it's really beautiful. There is a place still in our civilized world for lovely restaurants. Cicada is one of them. Look, a plug, I'll get a free beer. Over here, you see the LA Equestrian Center in beautiful downtown Burbank. It's where we shot the polo match in Pretty Woman. It's the premier equine facility in Los Angeles, covering 75 lush acres. It's the home to a 3,500-seat Equidome, or horse place. Take your pick. Now, I didn't know too much about horses, so my son Scott, who's a director, he shot all the sequences with the polo and that. The Equestrian Center was a perfect place to have a polo match. So we had the horses, and we had some players, and we hired 2 polo teams, and we shot the whole thing, which added to the richness that the Julia Roberts character would never have been to a polo match. You always try to get scenes that say this character is totally a fish out of water. And look at this. This is the Las Palmas Hotel, where Richard Gere showed up in the limousine to take Julia Roberts down the fire escape. It's a great hotel that still stands and more moderately priced than many, but it is still there. When I was starting in the business and writing and trying to get a directing job, I lived in Greenwich Village in New York in a 5-floor walk-up. And it always looked like it would burn down any minute. And so what we loved was there was a fire escape out our window. And this place has the fire escape. That's why we chose it. It reminded me of the old days. But it's around the block from Hollywood Boulevard, and it's Las Palmas Hotel.